This is something I'm going to be talking about a little bit, is how do you strike the perfect balance between fitness, business, relationships, and maybe some kind of purpose? You know, like it would be easy for all of us if fitness was the only thing that we had to do. Like imagine you only had to go to the gym. That would be such an amazing fucking time, right? Like it's like all day, just like, oh, it's like 2 more hours until the next meal. You know, it's like the gym is in 4 hours. It's like, boom, you just got to go there. And imagine that's your entire life. You know, it's only about gym. Like you could make such good gains. Yeah, man, it's gonna be amazing, right? But it's not like that for most of us. Unless you're this elite Olympic athlete or someone whose day is literally programmed every minute of the day to be in the gym, there's gonna be some kind of conflict, right? Someone will have to come into the picture. It's not just about you and your muscle. It's not just about you and your body fat percentage. There's shit happening, right? Either you need to make more money, or you're just not happy with your current job and you're trying to transition to something else. Maybe you're not currently happy with who you're dating or who you're not dating, right? Maybe you're just going out and wasting your freaking time out. You know, you'll just go out and just drink a beer and like, what am I doing here? And just go back home. You know, like, there's a lot of things that can influence how you feel about yourself. And obviously being in really, really good shape and being amazing in the gym and being strong and muscular and low body fat percentage is going to give you the energy. It's going to give you the focus and the foundation to work on other areas of your life. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have the potential to do anything else, right? Who here has ever had tooth pain? Raise your hands. Okay, so what's the only thing that you think about when you have one bad tooth? The freaking tooth, right? That little small thing there, it just all of a sudden, all of your mental focus goes to that one single thing. So health is obviously critical, right? If you're just waking up in the morning and you feel like, oh shit, I need coffee, I don't know what's going on, I don't have the energy, and then let's say in the middle afternoon you're just, oh, I need a nap, you know, I can't get any energy, I'm just having these dips, and you just don't feel very strong. You just look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, damn it, you know, like, is that what a 20 or a 30-year-old guy or girl is supposed to look like? What is this here, you know, like, what the hell is this belly doing here? Why do I have this belly? And why am I even saying this? Is because that was me, right? I was thinking these things. This was my life. 6, 7 years ago, I'd be looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know, like skinny arms, like massive belly. I feel super tired every day. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, why does a 23-year-old, 24-year-old feel like this? It's not supposed to be like this. Because I was thinking way back, man, you know, if I was in the caveman time, like, lion would just come freaking eat me, you know, like, I'm like hopeless, like, I can't even move. Like, you walk up the stairs, and you're like, shit, I'm sweating, let's run to the toilet so nobody can see you. You know, like, just freshen up a little bit, you know, like, catch your breath so you can walk into the office, and you do a job that you hate, right? That's a different story, so I'm not gonna go into that one, like, it's not a business seminar. But yeah, I mean, health is a foundation. And me fixing my health immediately made impact in all areas of my life. Immediately became more confident. Even in a room full of CEOs and guys who made 10 times more money than me, I'd just be walking in the room, hey, what's up? Like, what do you guys want to get done? You know, because I was ready to take action. And they don't feel this energy all the time because they're all like sitting in the chair all day like, click, click, secretary, hey, bring me that kebab. Right? Like that's literally their life. You know, like bring me that kebab. Do I have a meeting? Cancel a meeting. Like bring me another kebab. You know, like that's most of the people, right? Who I was surrounded with. So when I was coming there with that energy, I noticed, well, that's a very, very awesome advantage to have in the business world, and it's also an awesome advantage to have when you interact with people. If you go to a networking event, being in really good shape gets you attention. Like, you really get attention. You know, if you're like overweight, I remember when I was going to an event, we had a programming event. My background is in computer science, right? So a master's degree in computer science. And I would go to these like geekiest, nerdiest events ever. You know, it's like all the guys are just there like Quasimodo, you know, crippled, you know, they have to like, they have to walk out of like we had like a bus and it was like walking out, oh, is that the sun? You know, like they're just living in a fucking basement every day, right? That's their life, right? And I was at these events and we were learning like how to code in HTML, CSS, then we do ASP, like all these complicated things like server management. And I noticed like, before I quit my job, I was really in good shape, and I would go to these events, and like all of a sudden you're getting attention, right? Like you're getting more attention than the speaker. Like it's ridiculous. Like the speaker is there, he's like a really smart guy, 35 years of experience coding, makes a shit ton of money, like probably has a really good life. And you're there, it's like everybody's like looking at you, well, how did you do that? Like how did you get in shape? They see your pictures on Facebook, they're like, how did you transform from where you were to where you are now, right? And people notice, and they notice by the way you carry yourself. Like I'm not walking like this. Like this is how I would literally walk. Like this is what I would do before. Like I would do, hey guys, that would be me before. Now I can actually feel confident in my own body. So the reason why I'm saying this is because we lose track of how valuable it is to be in good shape. Like we forget it. It's normal, right? We forget the reasons why you even do this. And I'm gonna share with you guys today here 5 secrets. I call them secrets. They are secrets. Maybe you heard some of them, but maybe you're not doing some of them. It's equal. If you know it and if you don't do it, it's the same. Like if you know something and if you don't do it, it's almost as if you don't know it. Like it's even worse if you know it and you don't do it. Like it's even like if I could pick, I would rather not know, right? So these 5 secrets, what are we going to talk a bit about is striking that perfect balance, and we're going to approach it from a standpoint of psychology. And that's the first secret, actually. So who is this even for, right? So let me just state who this is for, because I know a lot of you guys in the audience, we have such an amazing amount of people here, different ages, genders, locations. You guys live all around Bulgaria, probably. Most of you probably is from Sofia, but you have different jobs and things like that. So what I'm going to be sharing with you is for people that feel like they're not living up to their full potential. So like you feel like you have this potential, you feel like time is running out, days are passing really, really fast, and you're not getting stuff done. You're just not doing the things you want to do, the things that you know will move you forward. You can be a marketing consultant, you can be a programmer like I was, you can be a gym coach, whatever the hell you are, dancer, whatever it is. If you feel like you're currently not living up to your standards, there's 5 things that you need to know right now that will literally change your life if you implement, okay? So let's start off with the thing number 1, okay? So the thing number 1 is that the biggest misconception out there is that the knowledge you have is very, very important. That the knowledge is the most important thing. How many of you saw like the ad that said like, oh, knowledge, I'm here in my garage, I'm reading all these books? Like, do you guys know the ad on YouTube? Like, oh, I'm here in my Lamborghini, I'm reading like a book a day, like pretty much, yeah, a lot of people, right? So I love knowledge, right? I love reading. I read 3 books every week, right? I love reading a lot. But the fact is that I know so much more than I'm doing. Like, I know much more than I'm actually implementing. Like, from every fucking book, I get too much. Like, I cannot even implement if I implement one single thing from each book that I read, I would just have to do that. There would be no other room for everything else in my life. Because I know more than I'm doing, right? Do I even need that? Is the knowledge an issue? And fact is, I know that I need to do some things and I'm not doing them. Like how many of you guys here know that, okay, so I need to eat more vegetables and I don't do it. I just don't do it. Like I don't know why, I know it's good for me, I know it's good for me, but I just don't do it. How many here would like to go to bed a little bit earlier, just so you get more sleep, right? And it's like the entire room, and we all know that it's bad. It's not just bad for how you feel day to day, but it's also bad for gaining muscle. So you're literally going to gain half the muscle. If you're cutting, you're going to lose like twice more muscle and twice less fat. So it's literally killing all of your gains. So just that one thing, if you fuck up your sleep, if you're a little bit more advanced in the gym, you could literally be spinning your wheels. Not just that, you could be going backwards. You could be losing muscle. Like if you sleep 5 hours a day, it's like 5 hours, I'm going to grind it out. No, like the body cannot be hacked. That's another myth that we're spoon-fed by the marketing, the mass media, the books, like, 4 hour whatever, 1 hour this, 30 minutes this hack. There is no hack. Like you cannot hack your body. The body will eventually have to give in because it is a biological system. If you try to cut the sleep, you will pay the price for it. The price always has to be paid. It's just a matter of time, right? So the fact is that we all know much more than we're actually doing, right? But why are we not doing these things? Well, from my experience, having worked with 300 plus people, having been mentored by people that run 7, 8-figure companies. One of my mentors is the director of coaching for Tony Robbins. There's a bunch of other people from the dating industry. There's a bunch of people from the fitness industry. I meet up with researchers from all around the world. I travel to 45 countries. And I see this simple pattern, very, very simple pattern that literally is the most important thing out of all of it, is that people attribute too much success toward knowledge and too little success toward their strength of their psychology. In fact is, psychology is actually 70% of your success. Your mindset literally determines 70% of your success. Like a guy that goes to the gym and does the shittiest workout plan consistently, the shittiest workout plan, like chest and buys every day, the guy will make more gains than a guy who's doing the perfect workout twice a month. Like, you can shove that perfect workout up your ass, man. Like, if you're not actually doing it every day or as many times as you have it planned in a week, you're wasting your time. So it's the mindset that is making the difference. Similarly with business. I see guys with, you could call them terrible business ideas, but they're succeeding, right? These people aren't supposed to succeed. They don't have talents. They don't have special origin. They don't have family money or anything like that, but they're just working really freaking hard on one thing, and they just have resilience, and they endure failure, they learn from it, and they succeed. They make 7 figures a year, and they're free, right? And I see so many other guys who are reading like a book a day. I know I could probably list 50 guys right now that I know that are reading 1 book per day. They have all the marketing courses online that you can buy. They know pretty much more fitness probably than I know, like in terms of just the biology and everything, they just really nerd out. And they're just nowhere. They're just an average dude, like average fucking dude. They hate their life. They're single, they're at home, they're always like, oh, I'm gonna try SEO one day. The next day I'm gonna get a job at Uber. Next day I'm gonna like learn how to program something. The day afterwards I'm gonna do e-commerce. They're always switching. So the way their psychology works, the way their mindset works, is that they think it's more knowledge. They think it's the next thing. It's the keto diet, it's the low carb, it's the high carb, it's the low fat, it's the paleo, it's this or that. No, guys, it's not. It's the thing that you can actually stick to and implement to in your lifestyle. That's the best diet, right? It's not the paleo, it's not the keto. All of them can work. Who here knows a person that lost weight on a vegetarian diet? Like just eating vegetarian, right? You know, there's hundreds of people, thousands of people. You know people that lost weight on a vegan diet, right? Like anybody who's worked in the fitness field knows that there's thousands of people that get really good results in vegan diets. And then there's thousands of people that get results with a keto diet. Then there's thousands of people that get results with a low-fat, high-carb diet with a lot of animal protein. What the hell is going on, right? Didn't the marketer tell me that the keto is the best? And that's where we are currently. We're thinking that there is the best thing. There's always like the next thing. And maybe you're not falling victim to this in fitness. Maybe in fitness you have more advanced knowledge, but maybe in some other area of your life this is crippling you. Maybe you're thinking in business that it's about the next idea. Or in relationships, maybe you're thinking that it's about this next dating book, that it's gonna be like the magic pill, and you're just gonna go out and just like girl's gonna feel like, oh yeah, just come with me, like in the movies, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Like you just have you develop yourself so much that you just go into the club and there's like the hottest girl in the club just comes in and is like, hey, like you look developed, like come with me, like let's go, right? Wouldn't that be cool, right? Like you look like you read a lot. Come, like let's go. It like takes you home, right? It's not gonna fucking happen. It's similarly with business. Like you think one day, he's just gonna read that one book and he's gonna wake up next day and he's gonna have a 7-figure business. Like, oh shit, just manifested itself. Just like, whoa, I have a 7-figure business. I have 20 people working for me. Will that shit ever happen? Duh, like obviously not, right? But we still think it will. We still think that it's about learning more and more and more and more. And I always argue at a lot of events, actually, that most questions that I get would be solved simply through trial and error and taking more action. Like, it sucks, right? It sucks. I wish it was about more knowledge, because I could easily give you all solutions for everything that you have right now, but it wouldn't help you, right? Because what we fundamentally need to master is how can we retrain our brain every single day to be focused on that specific goal that we have. If you have a goal to lose fat, let's say you have this perfect diet set up, and it's actually giving you results. And this is a case that we see, I think in the United States, about 104 million people are on a diet every single day. 104 million people. It's a lot of people, right? More than you have here in entire Bulgaria, right? And they're all the time on the diet. But they stick to on the diet for, like, let's say 3 weeks, fall off track, regain all the weight, they feel bad, they regain even a little bit more, they go back on the diet, repeat the cycle. Every year they just gain 2-3 pounds extra net more fat, and in like 20 years they're like obese. 2/3 of the population in the United States is overweight, 1/3 is obese. Child obesity is just skyrocketing. And all of these people know the same stuff you know here. You know, they know protein is good, like eating a little bit more lean protein. Vegetables are good. They need to get sleep. I need to stress less, and I need to go to the gym or do some kind of exercise. They all know that. Like, if you stop that like guy going for the 6th round at the buffet, you know, he's like 350 pounds. You know, that's going to be like, I'm going to use kilos here from now on. So that's going to be like, say, 150 kilos. You know, he's like walking for the 6th time at the buffet. You know, he probably needs a wheelchair, like a walking heart attack. If you stop me, hey, dude, yeah, I mean, do you think you could benefit from eating a little bit less? You know, like, if he was actually honest, I mean, that would be very rude to say, but let's say if he was really honest, if that was your friend, like if you had rapport with the person, if he would really trust you, he was like, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, shit, man, I need to get this shit done. But no, he's not getting it done. He's not getting it done. He's not actually doing the stuff he knows that he needs to do. And in his mind, it might seem simple, but he's not doing it. And it sucks, right? So what I'm gonna conclude the first point here is that mindset and your psychology is something you literally need to train every single day, because you're gonna forget your why. And I'm gonna ask a couple of you guys, what's your why? Why are you even training? So think about that for a second. And in two minutes, I'm gonna call you out and ask you, what's your why? Like, why are you training? And I'm gonna tell you guys my why. Why am I training, right? Because if you don't have a why, I don't know what the hell you're doing at this seminar. Like, that's the first thing you gotta figure out. You know, and it's not about becoming the best version of yourself. That's like copying out. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. You got to have a real tangible reason why the hell you're doing this. Because if you don't, you're not going to become very successful. Not just at this, but not at anything else. There's no person that is extremely successful that doesn't have a really good reason and meaning attached to what they're doing. There's no such person like that, okay? So there has to be some kind of meaning. Got it. So you kind of sense the ripple effect, how it's having on your entire life, and how it allows you to actually help more people, influence more people, right? So there's some kind of like further, deeper layer than just yourself. So it's attached to something else, right? So a mom would like die for her kid, but she won't diet for her own sake to lose 20 pounds. Do you guys get that? Like, a mom, if you ask any mother, any one of your mothers, ask my mother, oh yeah, like, okay, pick between yourself or Mario, like, she's gonna be like, okay, take me, you know, like aliens, you know, come and take me. I'm gonna be your experiment, right? Because like, we're much more motivated when we're doing something for other people. Like, we're gonna endure like fucking hell, if it's gonna have a very positive impact on the people we care about. Like, it's much more important than just ourselves. No matter how deep you're into personal development, you're still not going to go as deep into your core motivation to really plow through some failure, that is really freaking hard. And that's just one thing. There's so many other things that you will have to fail at. And if you're not actually doing it with a bigger purpose than yourself, it's really difficult to stick with that. You can get average results, that's fine. But if you want to get great results, I'm talking about like the oh shit physique that I like to call it. You know, like the oh shit physique is like when you go on a beach and you take off your shirt and it's like, what the hell? You know, like the guy looks amazing. You know, that's the oh shit physique. You know, because you can look average, it's easy. It's like average Swiss male statistics, 70% body fat, relatively healthy, doesn't look like he's too fat, doesn't look like he's too skinny, kind of skinny-ish fat. That's the average male, right? And that's most people. But if you want to be extraordinary, there's a price to pay for that. And that price is too difficult if you're just motivating a little bit from yourself. Oh, I'm going to do it because Tony Robbins said, I want to become the best. It's not enough. It actually is very, very difficult. So you're going to have to dig very, very deep. Like, you're going to really, really dig deep into the core. And when I always remind myself of my why. And the reason why I'm asking you guys about this is because the why is something that we usually know in the beginning of a certain journey. Like, when you get super pissed off, you get a lot of leverage, you quit your job, you start a business. You guys heard these stories. Like, the guy gets super pissed off, takes his desk and just does this, just goes like, fuck all of you, like all the people that he hates in the office. He just says all the bad shit, and it just runs out, and he's like, I'm free. That's when actually the pain starts. But I mean, he had so much leverage up until that point, so he was really in pain, so he had to take action immediately. Because short term, we're more motivated by pain, long term, we're more motivated by pleasure. Think about that. Pain is much more motivating short term. Like, when you're in pain, you want to fix it immediately. When you're in pleasure, you're like, maybe there's a better program, maybe there's a better thing. Let me just weigh different options. Let me check the reviews on Amazon. There's a different way we deal with pain and pleasure. Pain is much more motivating short term. So when the person does that, there's this emotional leverage. And that person will stick to their business plan for 6 months, maybe to a year. They're going to try grind out, and they're almost there at a tipping point where they can succeed. But let's say they fail one more time, and they lost track of their why, and now they fell off completely, and they don't want to go back. And they're like, okay, this doesn't work. I'm going to go back to my job. At least I get paid for it. At least I can do something. And parents are making pressure on me. My friends are all doing it. Whatever. Maybe it's a good thing. Similarly with the diet. Someone will try so many times, and they're going to lose their why, and they're just going to go back, and they're like, okay, it's genetics, it's like genetics. I'm just not I'm big boned. My metabolism is damaged. Or I can't lose weight on 1,200 calories. I think someone mentioned that. That's how much I could understand Bulgarian. I'm 140 kilos, and I can't lose weight. I'm eating 1,200 calories. 1,200 calories, and you're 140 kilos. No, it's not going to happen, right? You're flat out lying by four times less. It's just not possible, right? So we lose track of our why, and I have daily rituals that remind me of my why. So every morning, I will watch either a motivational video, I'll either write down my goals, I'll remind myself of my greater vision. Because if I don't do that, I don't have the strength to go through the day, because the day that I'm about to go through is going to stretch me very, very far outside of my comfort zone, most of the days. And if I don't remember my why and why am I doing it, I won't be able to stick with it. I'm just going to buckle, and because I'm working from a laptop at home as an entrepreneur, I can always go on YouTube, find the next video. It's always next Dragon Ball episode. There's always some shit coming out. There's always a new episode. There's always someone that wants my time. There's Facebook, there's my friends posting, there's people emailing me, giving comments, praises, Instagram lives. There's always stuff happening. And if I don't remember my why and why I need to do the shit that I actually need to do, all the other things now become options. And now all of a sudden, I just wake up at the end of the day, I'm like, hell, I had 24 hours and I just didn't do anything. Whoever feels like at the end of the day, you're just like, shit, I don't know what the hell happened today. I just didn't do anything, and I had those days, and you're thinking what the fuck, I know I should have done all these things, maybe write some emails or, I don't know, call this person, arrange this thing. It just didn't happen. And that's because I lost track of my why. And the problem with my situation is, and the problem with a lot of you guys' situations is that you're not so bad, you're not so bad off. You can find someone that is worse. You're good, right? But the problem is that the good is the enemy of the great. If you want to achieve greatness, good is your biggest enemy. And the days that are good, those are the days when you're like, I'm just gonna push it a little bit. Let me just check out that next video. Let me call my buddy and let's go grab coffee. Right? And there's time and a place for that. But when you're in the good state, when you feel good, belly's full, I mean, there's some cash coming in, there's really almost no motivation to actually do something. There's none of that pain. And if you don't remind yourself of a greater vision and that there's this incongruence between who you really want to be and who you are right now, you have no chance to actually do those behaviors that will get you to your goal. Really, really important, guys. Psychology is what drives behavior. It's not knowledge. Psychology drives behavior, your identity, who you think you are, and who you think you need to become. Very, very important. Building on this. Second, very, very important secret. Process is the key to success. And we think it's always an event. We always think it's about that one thing that's going to happen. Either the video is going to go viral and I'm going to become successful, or let's say I'm going to just win the lottery, or I'm just going to get a promotion, or I'm going to go to this vacation, then I'm going to be happy. There's always this one thing that we're waiting for, and that's the thing that is going to give you happiness, money, girls, the body. Now, there's always this one thing that we're all looking for. There's always like this one thing, okay, if that happens, and we get fooled all the time because that one thing comes and we don't become happier, fitter, and dating more and do all these things, but we still believe that there is something like that. And actually, the example that I like to use for this is an anti-example. And you guys probably been in this situation if you've ever been on a diet. Let's say you go one night, you go out and you just get a couple of drinks, you eat that kebab, you really fucking destroy your diet. It was like 2,000 calories off where you need to be. Or maybe that day you were at home, you were really bored. It wasn't a work day, maybe it's a Sunday, and you just really blow your diet. And you feel crap because of that. You didn't go to the gym that day, you just pigged out. For some reason, just the peanut butter was there, the cookies were there, the cakes were there, and you just freaking blew it. But the problem is that we never stop there, right? We all of a sudden think the whole diet is over. We think like everything is over, like my life is over. Like everything is done, like I just ate the cookie, I'm a worthless piece of shit. Who has felt like this before? That one cookie, that 200 calorie cookie makes you feel like shit. And for some reason, we forget that there's number one, there's probably like 3,000 calories of a deficit that week, so that 200 calories makes absolutely zero difference. One cookie doesn't make a difference, but 4 bags of cookies start making a difference. But let's say you eat 4 bags. Still, will one day of massive binging, eating 10,000 calories make you fat? Has anybody ever gotten fat by just one day? I just eat too much and I woke up obese. I just can't walk. It doesn't fucking happen. Will one day make you shredded? Oh, I just ate this salad and all of a sudden I'm no longer 140 kilos, I'm 70 kilos, 10% body fat. I just ate this salad today and I ate lean chicken. It's not going to happen, right? It's never about one single event. What creates results is a process. You don't end up 140, 120, or 100 kilos or skinny fat overnight. It's years and years of specific behavior and habits and daily routines that got you to where you are right now. Similarly, that fit person didn't just get fit magically. They were actually doing certain behaviors years after years, most likely for a natural. It takes about, I would say, 3 to 5 years to look really awesome. If you want to look really, really awesome as a natural lifter, girl or guy, 3 to 5 years. If you want to get the oh shit physique, right? But that doesn't mean that all those years before that are wasted. You're still making a lot of progress, but it's a process, as you guys can see. Building a business is a process. Dating is a process. It's not like, oh, just all of a sudden, this girl is just there and that's it, we're done. No, that's not gonna, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. You're not gonna keep that girl if you're just the same old Joe and just doing not investing any effort into it. You're gonna lose it. And it's not, and even getting a girl or getting a business or achieving anything, you're gonna have to learn certain things. you're going to actually have to learn certain skills that take time. It's not going to be that one thing like you go on like, I don't know, what is that called? Like matchmaker, like boom, like yay, problem solved. And if you look at examples of people who have done that around you, who have actually achieved success overnight, because there's examples, people win lotteries, people enter weird relationships, like they like I'm getting married after a week, How long does that even last? Did any one of those people ever actually achieve long-term success and happiness? I don't know any single person. I read statistics on lottery winners. I don't know a single person that has actually kept it, that has actually made something out of it. And we all think we would. Like, it's same as like, do you got, let's say, let me give you an example. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Do you think I could, currently, with what I know, do you guys think I could run a 8-figure business that makes more than $10 million a year? Do you guys think I could do it? Okay, who here thinks I could do it? Raise your hand. Like 10, more than $10 million a year. 8 figures, right? Do you think I could do it right now? There's people raising their hands. Yeah, like do you think I could do it like maybe like in this year?
It depends. You could start doing it, but we don't know if the pressure is going to crush you.
Absolutely not. I cannot do it. There's no way I could do it. How the hell would I be able to do that? Because if someone gave me an 8-figure business right now, the business would bankrupt. I don't have the skills. I haven't gone through the process of actually building the business. If I would snap my fingers right now and make you all ripped here, 10% body fat, in 6 months you would look exactly how you looked yesterday. For all those people who haven't been at that point up until now. Why? Because you haven't mastered the process and the journey that actually gets you there. It's same as a lottery winner. If someone made me like skinny overnight, if I could drink a magical potion when I was like 95 kilos and skinny fat, a gamer and stuff like that, I wouldn't keep it. Because I don't know I don't know anything about fitness, nutrition, or any like process, how my body works, what I need to eat. So it's really not about an event. And there's no reason to wait for an event. Instead, let's focus on the actual process. What is that I need to do tomorrow? And it's actually quite easy to figure this out. Let me give you guys a quick exercise how you can figure out the process, okay? So think about where you want to be in 5 years. A massive goal. Maybe you want to be like successful, maybe very, very highly positioned in a company. Maybe you want to do your own thing. Maybe you want to have your body. Maybe you want to have like a really nice long-term relationship. Maybe a bunch of kids, a dog, a nice house, own a bunch of cars, like the BMW without a roof so you can play chaga all day and run around the coffee so you can get more of like respect. Because it's all about respect in the Slav countries, right? So, yeah, I know. Yeah, I wanted to buy a BMW as well. I'm not ashamed of it. So you want to be there, let's say you want to be there in 5 years. Just think about, okay, if that's my 5-year goal, what can I do this year that will get me to the 5 years? What can I do this year that will move me a little bit closer to the 5-year goal? When you get that, it's like a little bit easier to grasp. Okay, it's a year, there's 5 years. And then you're thinking, well, what can I do in the next 6 months that's going to get me to the yearly goal? Maybe the first year just, okay, well, I'm going to get a successful website up for my services. Or I'm going to get this one promotion, and then the 5-year one is going to be CEO, and I'm going to be like the director or something, whatever. And then you think about, well, what can I do in the next month that's going to move me closer to the 6-month goal? Like, what can I do this month that's going to get me a little bit closer to the 6-month goal? And then you're thinking, what can I do this week that's going to get me closer to my 1-month goal? And you already start like getting a bit more tangible and more specific. All of a sudden, there's a weekly plan. There's like days and there's like things. You start thinking about, okay, these are the pieces that I need to put together to get to that month. And then you're thinking, shit, what do I need to do today to get to my weekly thing, to implement my weekly routine? See how that easy is? And then you broke it down to 24 hours. And it's so easy when you have it at 24 hours. You know exactly what you need to do. When you broke it down to 24 hours, you already know exactly what you need to do, because guess what? Then you can start taking action tomorrow. Because tomorrow, clock resets, you have your 86,400 seconds, and you start ticking down. And you have a day. It's really, really powerful, right? But because that day is the process, and when you have the day, it just literally just adds up. And compound effect over time, boom, you got your goal. Right? And over time, you tweak, you learn more, but all of that comes from the fact that you trusted the process and you implemented all of this stuff that is, for example, from Nicola and Stan, that they were talking about the training and the dieting. Even though you set everything up, there's still like times when you have to go to the gym. You know, there's still times when you have to log the food. That's what's happening on a daily basis. Right? If I give you a picture of a 10% body fat, that's just the result. That's a result of 6 months of daily stuff that was happening every single day, right? Never, never, ever forget the process versus event. And why never forget? Because we're fed every single day by the media, by family, by everybody around us, that it's everything is about the event. It's all about the event. You're going to win this car, and just like lottery, and your life all of a sudden is going to be awesome. Have you ever seen like ad commercials, and there's this car on an empty road driving around in the hills, and it's like all sunny, and it's like the sunset, and the roof is off, and it's like wind is blowing through your hair, and you have like this freaking supermodel, and it's like really awesome. And it's like you're drinking a little bit of coffee in there. It's like you're going and it's the beach below the car. There's like this shot. It's awesome, right? And that's what they are telling you. If you buy the car, you get this. Do you get that when you buy the car? Hell no, right? When you buy the car, what's going to happen? You're most likely going to be stuck in traffic like the other guy who's driving like a fucking Lada, like from from the 70s. You're going to be stuck there, and you're going to be like, give me, like, I want to move forward. I'm cool. That's what's going to happen, right? And the media and even family and friends and bosses and everybody around you is always telling you work for the event. When the event comes, it's all going to be good. It's like there's this tipping point. When you reach this tipping point, it's smooth sailing from then on, right? Like you guys probably heard of this concept. Like when you get the promotion, when you get the raise, that's like when it starts smooth sailing. It's like just when I work hard for 5 years, and it's going to be like, it's like relax, right? That's the biggest fucking scam on the world. Like that's the biggest scam out there. Guess what's going to happen if you become more successful? Let's say I'm like doing my job, I'm hitting all my markers, and I'm really good at everything. And my superior comes over and says, Mario, you've been really good this month. Like you really hit all the metrics. We're going to promote you. Next month, we're going to pay you 10% more. Like you really deserve it. 10% is a lot in a corporate job. You usually get like 1 to 3% raise per year, something like that, right? So they give 10%, but because you're so good, I have a special project for you on top of whatever else you're doing, right? And when I complete that project next month, he's going to be like, okay, I'm going to give you another 10%, but there's another project. Because the more successful I am, the better I am at what I do, I get more responsibility. And there I have less time. So the more successful you get in general in life, you're probably going to have to deal with more responsibility. So it's almost like a scam to think that there's this event that's going to happen and it's going to eliminate all the responsibilities. If anything, you're actually going to become more responsible. It really depends on the structure. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you could eventually reach a point in your business where you could sell it or automate it to a level where you can actually get decent, let's say, finance security without having to work as much. That's the dream, obviously. But it usually doesn't work for that many business models out there. You still have to be involved. There's still more responsibility. There's always stuff to do. And the more successful you are, likely the less time you will have. And the more responsibility and the more pain there will be when you fail. But the good thing is, because you went through this entire process, now you're more resilient. So even when you get hit by something, you can just kind of sweep it off and continue. So process versus event, guys. Process is everything. Events are not that important. Events are just results of the process. They're just going to happen automatically. Like if you go to the gym, you squat 3 times a week, and if you just focus on progressing every single time a little bit, taking a step back when you're regressing, in 6 months you're going to be squatting 150 kilos, right? If I give you 150 kilos right now, if you never squatted before, you're going to get crushed. And even if you don't think that your goal is 150 kilos in 6 months, you're going to get there just by focusing on a day-to-day effort. Like, you're going to get there anyway if you just focus on the day-to-day. So don't forget the process. Because we all think, oh, it's about, I'm going to get to this weight, I'm going to get to this car, I'm going to get to this amount of money, I'm going to get to this amount of weight in the gym. Instead of focusing what I need to do the next day. It's very, very easy to procrastinate thinking what's going to happen in the future. All right. Not going to beat that one more. Okay. So, point number 3.
Sorry, Mario. Microphone batteries.
Which one? This one?
This one.
Don't touch me. You can do it, Barsha. We're good friends. Only good friends, guys. All right, sweet. So we talked a bit about the psychology. We talked a bit about process versus event. Super, super important factors when it comes to your success. Now, I did a survey before this event and I asked people, what do you want me to talk about? You know, like, what do you want me to talk about? What's the topic? You know, what's the biggest thing that you're struggling with? What's the biggest obstacle? And people said, it's about balancing health and the relationships in business. So people are like, okay, we want to know how to balance it. That was like the most voted topic. You know, there's like, oh, how to get shredded. You know, that wasn't really very important. Most people really wanted to know how to balance stuff. And fact is, I mean, it's a little bit off, I mean, to say this, and maybe a bit gonna get some people pissed off, but balancing is actually a scam. Balancing is a scam. You cannot, at the same time, become Elon Musk and Usain Bolt. Like, you can't. And is there anybody here who thinks he could become, at the same time, Donald Trump, Usain Bolt, and Elon Musk? So you're the best sprinter, you're going on Mars, and you're the president of the country. What the hell, right? But it's still like out there as this dream that it's always possible. I've never met anybody who has actually been able to achieve massive, massive success in every single area of their life fast, at the same time. I've never met that person. I've met plenty of very, very successful, fit entrepreneurs, shredded, like super happy with their life, running a successful business, who have done it through very, very smart prioritization. And most of them have had periods that they like to call, and I like to call, dark years in business. Dark years. You know, those are the years that when Bill Gates writes down, you know, I was coding in my basement for like 10 years. Those are the dark years. And books and Forbes and Huffington Post and whoever the hell, Business Insider, Inc., they don't write about the dark years. They write about Bill Gates being very, very rich and successful and everything that he has right now. They don't write about the 10 years in a basement where he had no friends and just literally was staring at code 18 hours a day. Same for Mark Zuckerberg and his team. You know, you see Facebook right now, that's like 6-7 years of like freaking grind and hustle, you know, giving up everything that they had. Those are the dark years. And that's what it takes. You know, if you want to get to a certain level at a certain craft, you have to go deep before you go wide. Remember the example when I said that people went like, oh, I'm going to do SEO one day, next day I'm going to do YouTube videos, the other day I'm going to do my website, the other day I'm going to do like coaching, then the next day, like, they want to do everything. They want to go wide, but they don't actually go deep. And if you don't go deep, if you're not really a master of your craft in 2017, even before, like, you have nothing to offer to the world. Like, kids now know how to use an iPad before they know how to walk. Like, they're going to absolutely crush you when they're 15. Like, you think you can compete with your entitlement, I'm just like, I'm just going to know a few things. No, man. Like, the kid is going to know how to build a spaceship when he's 25. He's going to be the next Elon Musk, you know, because and that kind of stuff, because he's just so much more advanced. And he's learning really, really fast. And the world that we live in today, I'm just using a kid example, but that's most people out there, the workforce, the business force, the big niches, The business, the health, the wealth niche, the health niche, the dating niche, those are the biggest niches where all the companies are mostly, right? There's a lot of services as well, but it's extremely competitive. So if you want to achieve anything in that kind of business world, you got to really be a master at your craft. Even in a company, if you're an employee, look, you can be the jack of all trades, but you're not going to get very far. You got to really be an expert at what you're doing, like an actual expert where you have a massive amount of value in one area. That's going to get you very far. Because there's a ton of jack of all trades. There's a ton of people, and I just watch all the 500 videos that I have on YouTube, probably Niklas and everybody else's, and they're like, oh, I'm now a fitness coach, but I'm also a life coach, but I'm also a business coach, but I'm also a personal development coach. You know, like just because you watched all that stuff and you went really wide, that doesn't really qualify to do anything. Similarly, in your craft, there has to be a period where you immerse yourself in one specific area so you can actually break through a certain threshold and become very successful at it. If you, let's say you want to diet to 8% body fat and you're like 16%, 18% body fat right now, that's going to be a very hard process. And at the same time, you want to build a business. You know, like when you're at 9% body fat and you're eating 1,800 calories, the only thing you're thinking about is Nutella. Well, at least me, right? Or peanut butter. So in my mind, it's like, okay, this is food, like survival is at stake here. Like I can't think to a high level of like, oh, I just gotta hire people and make sales and do all these things. No, I mean, like in that moment, I'm like, flight or fight, you know, like I gotta fight my way to some food or I'm gonna die. Right? Getting to really, really lean levels like that, you gotta really be at a point where everything else is kind of sorted out so you can start doing that. Or if you do that, accept the fact that something else might suffer. That's why I say balance the scam. Similarly, if you want to get really good at social skills, if you're an introvert like I was, I mean, look, dude, like, okay, all of you here, right? So you guys see me, I'm talking right now, all this stuff. I think I've talked more in this presentation right now than I did in the first 20 years of my life with people that I didn't know. I said more words right now than I did my first 20 years of my life to my non-friends. And my friends list was very, very small. That was before the Facebook days. I don't count the Facebook friends, right? So to become somewhat socially savvy, I had to sacrifice certain things. I was going to the gym only 3 days a week for 45 minutes for months, months, and months. I was barely eating. I was like eating on the fly. You know, I was just like, oh, just get some protein, whatever, protein powder, you know, just kind of get it. And I was already decent in my fitness before I started doing that. In my fitness, I was already at a six-pack level. I was super good in terms of my physique. And what happened is that I just couldn't make it without actually making that sacrifice for my fitness. And my fitness level just plummeted. Like year 2 and 3 in my fitness, I made no progress whatsoever almost. It was terrible, right? And the reason I made no progress was because I was investing all of my energy, effort, mental, physical power into mastering my social skills. I talked to thousands of people. That's the only way I could have ever broken through to a point where I can somewhat be happy with what I have in social skills, so then I can go back to either the business or the fitness or whatever else I want to do. So it takes a period of immersion. If you want to achieve massive results fast in an area, it takes a period of immersion. Whether it's 6 months, whether it's 6 years, whether it's a year, depends on the level of success you want to get at, but there has to be some immersion. And guess what? When there's an immersion, what you have to do is, in every other area of your life, compared to the immersed area of your life, you got to apply the 80-20. Do you guys know what the 80-20 is? You guys know what like the 80-20, the Pareto principle, right? 20% of the things that you do get you 80% of the results. So in fitness, what I was doing during that time, I was like, okay, progressive overload, make sure that you're doing more weight over time somehow. Focus on your like gym, like really make that 45-minute count. Like really get the best workout that you can in 45 minutes. Try to get your calories and protein right. Don't focus on anything else. Just try to get your calories and protein right. And don't forget to drink water. Like I was really obsessed with that because I would forget it completely. So those are my 80-20, right? I just had, my entire fitness plan was based on that. I was doing the same workout for an entire year, which is probably not a good idea. But I was focused and I made some tiny progress, but I didn't go back. Because guys, sometimes in life, when you're stuck at a situation, it's not about pushing the boulder further up the hill, it's actually just holding it. So the boulder doesn't crush you back. So that was me in fitness. So just holding the boulder, and it's like, okay, like hope to God that I don't go back to like where I previously was, like binging and like getting back to my fat self. While and on the other hand, in my relation, my social skills, I was like pushing that shit like really fast. I was getting results massive very fast. I was immersed, like I was thinking about it 24/7. Right? Same in business. When I started my business and I was a marketing consultant before that, I had to do the same thing. I had to pull the plug on everything and just focus on the essential. There's no other way that I've seen people get results fast. And this means that in a couple of years, you can completely change who you are if you just apply the concept of immersion. The concept of immersion is just cut out everything, just focus on one thing. Just blast it out with full energy, full focus. Because all of us, we have energy. We have the days. We have those days and those tasks and those things that we all of a sudden we just are freaking crushing it. You know, like we're in the flow state, we're present, we're just knocking it out of the park. You know, like we're really good. But that's not most days. And what usually happens when you don't have those days, when you're not in that heightened state of focus, is because your energy is spread too thin. Like you're thinking about too many things. But imagine if you had just one thing, you could direct all of that focus into just one area, one specific thing. And that thing is going to explode with how fast you're going to get results. Everything else will suffer, but at least in that thing, you're going to be crushing it. That's how you get results fast. You want to learn copywriting? You can learn copywriting in 3 months. You want to learn how to start like a website coding and HTML, CSS, all that stuff, 3 months. Every single day, just that. Nothing else. Like just cut everything out. Right? You will learn how to do it. Right? Very, very important. Final point. I had one more point, but I'm going to cut that one out for the Q&A. Right? Sweet. All right. So final point is it's one that has been overused a little bit recently. The fastest way one will succeed, the fastest way to cut the learning curve and to achieve success in any area of your life is by getting a mentor. Absolutely fastest way you're going to get results in any area of your life is get someone who has already been through the process multiple times with many, many people. That's literally the fastest way. Like if you want to build a huge business, get someone who has already built the business who can just guide you through there, and you're going to do it in half the time. Want to build a great body? Hire coaches. Hire coaches like Niklas or someone who can just, look dude, this is where you're fucking up. Bam, let's get it back on track. Immediately, you're getting on track, you're getting results fast. Compared to tinkering with it yourself, you're going to take years to figure it out. Compared to getting there in 6 months. 6 months versus 6 years. Time is the only thing you will never get back. You can refund this event if you want, but you cannot refund the 3 hours that you just spent here. Like I can't refund you your fucking time. Right? Value your time. Value your time. I see people not hiring coaches and they're just winging it. Like someday it's going to all magically click. It will. But to get to that point where it's going to magically click, you're going to have to spend so much energy doing something you might not want to do. Like you might not want to be a fitness coach. So why do you want to learn how to be one? Maybe that's not what your genius is at. Maybe your genius is at something else. Maybe you're a designer, and now like the designer is like reading nutrition studies. Like, why the hell are you doing that? Just hire a nutrition guy, have him do that for you, and you can hire one very, relatively cheaply. But even if it's not cheap, how much is your hour really worth? How much is a year of your life worth? How much? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000? Is it $30,000? Year of your life. Imagine, snap your finger, year gone. And I see this happening with people a lot, especially in business, especially in fitness. They're so eager to waste their time thinking that time is useless. People waste their time all the time. Sucks. Sucks to see. Because it's easy. Instead of being ripped and shredded and getting the fitness thing handled when you're 21, you're going to get it by the time you're 26. You just wasted literally 4 or 5 years of your life figuring shit out that maybe when you're 26 you want to do something else. and you don't even want to be the fitness guy anymore. You know, it's just so much pain, right? For no reason whatsoever. So hire a mentor, because not just because the fact that you're going to get the result, but you're going to learn how to get the result faster. Because all the good mentor, I mean, it's same as everything else, by the way, guys. There's like coaches that are extremely good, there's kind of average, and there's also like people, pieces of shit that I would never allow to have an internet connection, you know, so they can't reach people, you know, like there's a wide range of stuff happening, especially in the health and fitness world. You know, there's like so many myths and bullshit. Like recently I had actually a quick story I want to share with you, like my client, long-term client, right? Been working with me 8 months. He got like, he went to a Tony Robbins event, and he was introduced to this health coach. And health coach went and just like, okay, I'm going to do an assessment on you. Okay, you know, he's like, okay, why not? A free assessment, you know, like I want to be assessed. And he's like, she's like, okay, what are you dealing with? You know, fill this questionnaire, all this nonsense. She's like asking him, do you have any energy dips and stuff like that? And he's like, you just put in there a couple of things. You know, I just ended a diet. You know, I'm shredded. You know, like I'm doing all these things. And she's like, and he sent him a PDF like a week later, and he's like, oh yeah, I got this PDF from this health coach. I opened the PDF. Jesus Christ. In the PDF, it said, number one thing, eat however much food you want, because life will take care of everything. Okay. And that's not the worst thing. What will happen if you eat as much as you want? Like, I mean, I would be like 120 kilos at least, you know, like if I could just literally eat whatever I want, life has intended for me to be 120 kilos and obese and get a heart attack at 50. The second thing, what she wrote, and I'm not going to name her, I actually promised my client not to call her out publicly. It sucks. I would like call her out, tag her in a post. And I got all these signs, guys, on my Facebook. You know, they're really brutal. You know, they crush you if you get called out. The second thing was like, okay, if you eat this vegetable that grows in fall, you can't eat meat for 2 hours afterwards. So you gotta wait. And if you eat meat, you have to combine it with like a spring vegetable. Then you can't eat dairy at the same time. I'm like looking at this shit. It's like, this person is making a living selling this crap. And at the end it says again there, if you just follow all these steps, you know, life will figure shit out. I mean, life will figure it out. That's why the 2/3 of people in the United States are overweight. You know, like life has figured it out for them. You know, the life wants them to get cancer and die. You know, like that's the only freaking conclusion that I could come to. But why I'm saying that, there's really bad mentors out there, so you got to be really, really careful who the hell you listen to. Like have very, very critical, skeptical, scientific type of mindset when it comes to mentoring, because that will save you a lot of pain and potentially even money. Because when you're skeptical and when you're thinking critically, okay, if someone says, hey, I have the magical solution, prove it. Where are the 100 people that you worked with who got the results with this? Show me the study. Where's a randomized controlled trial that actually proves that your keto supplement does some shit? And the rat studies don't count. Guess what? Like all of a sudden, like crickets, there's no noise, like nothing. Right? You got to be really, really careful who you listen to. And luckily with us, we have a lot of science recently, and Nicola and Stan talked a lot about that. They presented you studies. Because we didn't make this shit up. You know, it's not like, oh, I have a bicep, so you should listen to me how to train the bicep. That's not how it works. Because guess what? Maybe you have a bicep like Stan because you're genetically gifted and you can do whatever the hell you want with your bicep and it grows. And you don't listen to that guy because he might have been doing like cheat curls with 80 kilos 6 times a week, and he's like, oh, this is the secret to the bicep, you know, and it's like the bicep program. And you try the bicep program and you break your back or you get no results, you know. And you got to be really careful who you listen to. And that's why we have science. And everything that we talked about here in terms of this scientific approach that's a starting point for you guys. So everything that you learned about making the workout plan, the calories, the mindset stuff, all that's a starting point for you. At the end of the day, what really matters is what works personally for you. Like all this stuff that I gave you today is stuff to try out. This is not the end-all be-all solution where I'm like, Moses and the God has given me like the 5 secrets and I'm just, here's the secret, guys. Like, no. This is the stuff that you want to try out yourself. See how it influences you. I can guarantee you that the things that I've talked about with you guys today, it's going to at least 10x your productivity and 10x your life if you actually apply it. Because if you don't apply it, then you literally wasted your time, and I wasted mine. But the point is, again, there's usually no best, like universal best, but there's a lot of individual best things to do. So trust yourself a little bit more. If I could turn back time, if there's one thing that I could give myself as a piece of advice when I was in my early 20s, when I was that shy guy that didn't do shit, and that it wasn't like, that was like a piece of furniture in the room when people were talking, like I would be like this chair, never making any noise. Nobody would listen to the chair. And even if I would say something, I would like try to say something, like I would add to the conversation, but I'd be like, it's probably not a good idea. Let me just take a step back. Right? And you don't want to end up in a position where you do not trust your own self and trust your own process, what it's giving you, the feedback that you're getting. So if you try out the calories thing, okay, you ate 2,000 calories. Well, see if that works for you. And see, okay, what's my body responding to, and then adjust based on that. Don't look at the Instagram model that is like photoshopped and takes 1,000 pictures at one photo session and then plasters them in the next 5 years all over the social media because you think that he's shredded all year round while he's actually pigging out somewhere in like in the mountains or whatever, right? He's never like publicly showing himself again, right? There's plenty of that happening. There's a lot of Photoshop. There's a lot of fake weights that people are using to make you believe that they're strong. Like there's a lot of stuff going on out there. So trust yourself a little bit more. Like it's easy to prove some of these things. There's a lot of people saying intermittent fasting is the God being like whatever. It solves all the problems. Just try it out. Try it out. In 1 month, you're going to know, right? Try stuff out and don't trust other people more than you trust yourself. In certain situations, you know much more than you think you know. And remember, it's not about the actual knowledge. It's about the psychology and the mindset and the consistency. Okay, guys? So that's about it. That's what I had to share for you guys. And I hope I didn't do too much of our time. How are we in time? Late. Ah! All right. All right, cool.